Garden friends, welcome on back to Flower Patch. Today I'm actually outside. It's a beautiful day. It's in the mid 70s. Ooh, look a little hazy out there in the woods. Let me point you over there in a minute. But I want to take you a walk around the front garden, talk to you about some of my plants there, and show you an area that I am creating for painting from. So, you know I paint, many of you do. And so I wanted to put in flowers that would complement each other, be beautiful, and make great photographs for me to paint from in the depths of winter when it's freezing. So the question of the day is, what do you think about the colors I'm choosing for this area? So we will get rolling. The hummingbirds are, I don't know if you heard them chirping at me. I guess I need to refill their feeders. They come and tell me when I need to do that. So let's get rolling. Can you see the haze out there? I don't know. You may not, but trust me, it's hazy. It could be that it's a burn day and people are burning their pine needles and garden debris. All right, let's get rolling on the tour of the front garden. And yep, it's still a mess because I haven't been able to get out here a lot yet because it goes from hot to cold. I don't come out here when it's cold. I shouldn't say hot. It's been nice and warm the last few days, but I have been ill. So I was doing a little bit at a time. So this front area, this grass and stuff all needs to be weeded out. I have perennials that have come back. You can see it is a bad spot for gophers. So I'm aiming for flowers that I know they do not like and or I plant in gopher cages. So some of these plants will move and I'll show you what in a little bit. I dug the rose that was in this barrel out and I planted it in the upper flower bed up here. And I have more to go, as you can see. My little kneeling bench and the watering can. This is where I have been working. I come out here while I'm sick a little bit every day and weeding the areas. And of course I dumped the soil that was in that barrel in here. And there's my can where I collect the weeds and then I take them to my chickens who make the best composters. So I've got a lot of stuff coming up here. Daisies, I got a new clematis down there coming up, and it'll climb up the arbor with the Eden rose. My plans for the Eden rose to go along the fence is working beautifully. I am loving it. So that's all doing well. And the perennials I planted in here last year, like this this is a Veronica. And another one right there. And then over here I have a Monarda. This is a Proven Winners Monarda that stays shorter and doesn't run like the ones I have elsewhere, which that's good and bad, the way they run. So lots of work still to be done, lots of weeding, and I'm getting to it slowly but surely. This is my pink dogwood. So yeah, I'm hoping that it does well here. The native dogwood is right there. So you can see it should, since it's so close, it should like this area. So over here is my black lace elderberry. I wanted it to grow up between the back of the bench and this of the driveway. So it's going to do great. And then the pink dogwood will fill in and also hide the mess here. Though this is coming down very soon. So I'll have, hopefully, my driveway back. So as you can see, lots of things coming up. This is April, I don't know what date exactly, 20th. And all of that. So that's a brief look. So over here is the area that I want to work on. And I will set up my tripod and get to work in here and kind of explain to you exactly what I'm going to do. So this is the area. Hopefully this is a good angle. Because I'm having to keep the camera on the porch underneath the shade. So I don't know if I cut off my head, but you'll see I go straight here and then it comes this way along here, and then straight back against the block wall. So it's kind of a triangle pie shape. And I have the idea here of, let me scrunch down here, of purple and orange, or blues and orange in this bed. Now I do have the white candles, wedding candles, verbascum here, and they're too tall to be on the edge, so I'm going to move them to the center. This galvanized tub is going to move out of here. I have another wedding candles verbascum right there. So I think the three in the middle will be really pretty because they get really tall. And then I have some binary orange zinnias, and I have another orange zinnia that is really striking on order, the seeds of that on order, which I'm planning on putting in here too. And then my salvia. I have four or five of the Mystic Spire salvia, which put in here, they get tall too, or at least they did last year for me. They'll do great with the white wedding candles verbascum, and then with the orange zinnias. Now they are all a bit taller, and around the edge I'm going to put white alyssum, so that'll kind of border it very pretty. Now there are other things in here. There's a Veronica over here, there's a yellow daisy here, banana cream daisy, and I'll leave those. And I also have some Verbena bonariensis in here. So those can stay because they match the color scheme fine, just fine. So that is my plan with this. And I'm just going to fill it as full as I can and still keep a good spacing with my plants. I also have some Nepeta or Nepeta, however you pronounce it, that I'm going to plant right along the bed, because over there the gophers are really bad and they don't seem to bother the Nepeta, and I have some I can dig up and divide, and that will be perfect, and that way I don't have to spend too much money. And I have all the other plants. The only one I'm really starting fresh is the zinnias, because of course being an annual, you start them fresh every year, but a package of seeds for those was like under $4. So everything else is going to be dug up, divided, and put in here. Oh, I will, if my alyssum doesn't get going really quick, it's really tiny, I will probably buy a 6-pack or 2 of that, and those are around $6 a piece, the 6-pack. So that would line this just fine, unless I figure out something else that I want. But I love the way the white really offsets everything. It's kind of a calm color, and it doesn't rob you from all the other stuff. I have to go and knead my bread. I'm making some sourdough bread today. Yeah, and then I'm going to get back out here and I'm going to start weeding. So the first thing I'll do is move this container to this other side for now. Okay, so I'm going to dig up the weeds right in the center, then I'm going to transplant my verbascum over here. There's one right here, and one there would be perfect. It's not exactly centered, but that's okay. It's going to do what I want it to do. And I'll make sure all of this is weed free before I transplant. And I have to tell you, I have got a skunk hanging around here, and the odor right now is tremendous. Alrighty, so I have a volunteer viola down here. That's pretty. Now this Verbena bonariensis needs to get cut back, and here's another one. So those I'll cut back. I leave the stems on them through the winter because beneficials can make nests inside of the stems and live there and overwinter. So that's why I do that. It looks messy, but I'm all about helping them out as much as I can. And it really does the trick, because I get the ladybugs like crazy. I get other things like the syrphid wasps. I know I'm not pronouncing it right, and they really help take care of the bad bugs. And I don't spray anything, etc. in my garden because I want it to be a great host spot for many beneficial bugs. And if you spray stuff to kill the bad bugs, you're going to kill the good bugs too. Okay. So I'm going to get my cutters, my pruners. Now, I just bought these. I went to a rose, the local organization, the Rose Society, and there was a guy there that they had as a guest speaker on pruning roses. He's a renowned expert nationwide. But he said he gave up his Felcos for these, and I could see why. As soon as he told us about them and how much he loved them, I got on Amazon right during the meeting and ordered them. And I could tell you, I love them too. So I'm just cutting back the stems of the verbena, bonariensis, and I'm going to cut them back low. And I do it in increments, and I just let it fall to the ground, because that is just the way that I do it, and it'll just compost in place. Trying to see if that was a fire spotter. Plane, I don't see it. It's a little early for fire season, but no, it is a little tedious. I agree to do this, but when I'm out here to enjoy. If I was in a hurry, I would just go ahead and plop it into my bucket. And or I would pile it up and then come back and chop it up later, which that's a choice too. One thing nice about having the stem still on it is then it reminds me of what I have there. And I'll clean up the iris. My garden knife. I think this is, Fiskars. And I love this thing for weeding, etc. I'll link to it in the description box. It's easily purchased off of Amazon or whatever. I don't think I've seen them in my garden stores, but there's different kinds of garden knives. This one I really love. I don't even know if it's truly a knife, but it's kind of nice shaped. But it's a great garden tool. It easily gets underneath the roots of these weeds. Oh, somebody's burning. I can smell it. It's probably what all the haze is in the air. Well, hopefully that's what it is. Not a fire started already. It's pretty strong. And if that was a fire spotter, I could check, go inside and check. Alrighty. Just to hasten this for you, I'm just going to pile them up for now. Quite a few bonariensis. I just love them because they sway in the wind. They are a butterfly magnet. These ones are vanity. I grew these from seeds last year. I got this particular variety because it was supposed to be shorter. And it didn't grow short for me. It got quite tall. But that's okay. Now that I know it, I can plan for it. And the zinnias, the Benaria zinnias, they're very tall too. Okay, so this area I think I've got cleaned up. I don't want to dig up those verbena, so I want to get it cleared enough I can transplant the verbascum and not worry about digging up a plant. This viola could probably go, but I'm going to let it stay for the moment. Okay, let me stand back and see where to plant those verbascums. Okay, there's that one there, and that one I could put one right here between these two irises. Oh, it's got some deep roots on it. Supposed to cool down this week. Oh, yeah, that one went down deep. So hopefully that will help this to settle in without too much disturbance. Let me see. Aha. Yep, there's the gopher tunnel right there. Okay. Pull out any weeds. And we'll put it right down in there. Now you notice I do not put anything in the planting hole. And I have a whole video and blog post on why you don't want to put like starter fertilizer or amendments into the planting hole. It actually does the opposite of what you want it to do. Now I'm just firming this down in here, make sure there's lots of good soil contact and there's no air pockets down there, and then I will water it in very well. That'll help reduce any pockets too. Okay, this is weeds there. Now I'm going to do the same with the other verbascum, and then I'll come back and show you where it's at. I'm sure you don't want to watch the whole thing. I could cut this stem back. Now verbascum is a perennial for me, and I grew these from seed and they were very easy. I had bought one from Annie's Annuals a couple of years back. It was called Southern Charm, and it's over there by the dogwood tree. And it probably gets too much shade there in the summer and I need to move it, but I haven't done so yet. So I got to figure out if I want to do something with that gopher hole tunnel. Alrighty. Could be why this iris isn't doing so hot. I could have been getting nibbled on. So I have the verbascum moved. I'm come over here and let me show you a close-up of the Mystic Spires and how I know it's coming back. I'm showing you a close-up of the salvia, and you see down here I'm getting new growth from it. This is Mystic Spires, and I have another one right over there. It's the same. And these two I'm going to dig up right now and move over to that bed not far from where I planted the wedding candles verbascum. So I'll just dig these up. Now over here in this section is where I was showing you the close-up of the salvias. Mystic Spire salvia, I'm going to get my pruners, I'm going to cut them close to the ground, then I'm going to dig them up and I'm going to put them over there in that garden bed. And I would get you close up, but it's really not necessary. This is a no-brainer. I'm just cutting these down close to the ground, maybe an inch, leave an inch of the stem. And I'm going to set these right here. These broke off in the heavy snows. And I'll pull the weeds while I'm here. Some of the grass. So right here, I don't have my bucket over here, so I'll just pull this up. This is a feverfew. It comes up like weeds, and I just edit out what I don't want. Okay, so there's that one. And then this one. Now, so far, the gophers have left all my salvias alone, too. But you never know when they're going to start on something new. Last year, they went after my sea hollies and my echinaceas. Something crazy. They just went around the gardens to all those plants and then started on a different one later. Okay, so 1, 2. I don't know, I have one back there too, and I don't know if I'm going to dig that one up or just these two, and then the one I have in the greenhouse that I was taking tip cuttings from. And that one could get planted out here, and I can continue to take cuttings from it. Okay, let me get down. Had a pretty good root system on it. So I'm just going to pull the whole thing over here. Soil and all, and I'll just fill in these spots with compost or soil from elsewhere. See that? Whoops, dug up a tulip at the same time. Okay, well, I trimmed back all my verbena, went and kneaded my bread. Now it's time for it just to rise. And I dug up those salvias, Mystic Spires. So I have the two there and the one out there. So I have to kind of decide where I want them. There's this wider back here. This is one verbascum, that's one verbascum, and that's one verbascum. So, and then I think about the zinnia. So this is kind of a wider area. So I think I'm going to put my salvias located here. I may even decide to move that verbascum, but I'm not sure yet. I probably should make it easy on myself, leave it. I can always move it next year. Okay, there's a clump of verbena right there. And then the verbascum right here. The violas, you know what, I should move the violas because right there would be perfect for one of the salvias. No great loss, it was a volunteer plant. So, not that I don't love them, I do love them. It just was in the wrong place for now. Okay, so here's one of the salvias. I want it a little deeper because I want it to sit down level to where it was in the other bed. And then I'll plant it up. So right here's some verbena, one of the verbascums right there. And I think that one's sitting a little proud, meaning sitting too high in the ground. Well, maybe not. I just need to pull some more stuff around it. Unfortunately, this, I don't remember putting this iris here, but we'll let it come up and see what it does. And I need to cut back these hyacinths. Okay, so there's one, and then maybe I'll put the other one over there. So it kind of goes across this way, and then one on the other side of that verbascum. Then there's plenty of room back here for the zinnias. Let me take a good look from a space. And also like the shorter nepidas and stuff can go in here. I have one that's called Kitten Around, and it stays real short. So it might be a good one to fill in here, as well as I have some cast pajamas I need to move. Okay, so there is the one. And one. Deciding. Okay, this one would be good here. Maybe I should move that one over this way a little bit. Deciding. I should have waited and thought about it better. Yeah, I'm going to put it over here a little ways. Next year, if I don't like the way I placed them, I can do it again. So this one is all loose, so I'm just going to pick it up and move it over. Make sure I get all the roots down underneath. Fill it back up. And then this one, I'll do a little bit right here. Just a wee bit over from the other one. They both have plenty of room to fill in. They do. For me, they got pretty thick, so it's all good. All right. Perfect. Perfect fit. Now, when I'm done, I will water them in a bit, and then I'll go get my organic Rev, which is a great root stimulant. So that'll help it all get settled, and it'll mitigate transplant shock, etc. And I use it almost every time I transplant things. Okay, here's a bulb that got dug up. I don't plant tulips anymore because the gophers eat them, or the squirrels move them. But there are some of them in here that just came back on their own. So, and I do have some rose verbascum. I doubt I'll put them in this bed, but those are coming up. I started those from seed as well. Okay, so that's, I'm not liking the way this one is standing a little too tall in the soil. I need to dig it out more. Okay, there. I guess it has a really big tap root there. There we go. One thing about digging up, you get them oxalis. Okay. So with the cool down we're supposed to get, that will help these to settle in. It's not going to be that hot, so I wouldn't do this if it was going to get into the 80s or anything. In fact, today's the warmest day we're supposed to have, and then it's supposed to cool back down into the 60s. So it'll be partly cloudy. So it's perfect. Okay, so I still have one more salvia, and I can put it right here. So I'll have a big clump of salvia right here, the verbascums coming through the bed, and yeah, the zinnias all around, way around in the orange. So I think that's it. I just have to finish weeding, cutting back some more of the verbena, and we're good to go. I do have a bag of mulch I could mulch it with, but I'm also supposed to get a load of the chicken turkey, organic turkey compost that a lot of times I'll top dress with, and I think I want to wait for that. So I'm going to finish weeding, and then I will do the rest. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I have a catmint right here, Nepeta, and I am going to divide it because it's a good chunk, and I can divide it. And there's one going to be over here on this side, and then I'll put one on that side. And then as it thickens up again, I can divide again, and we'll go from there. So I would like to get some more of the kitten around to put along the edge because it stays really short. But I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Sometimes I'll find a plant and then I don't find another. And the one I have isn't big enough to divide. So that's why I'm going to do this one. Just trust me. You can't see from back there. But here is that. Now it didn't look like it got out into the soil very much. I had transplanted it here in the fall and it just didn't go anywhere. But so hopefully you can see this. I have it sitting right there. And I'm just going to take my shovel and take it right down the center. I thought I was going to take it right down the center. Okay, I'm going to have to put my substantial weight into it. There we go. All right. Now we have two nice sized clumps. I'm going to put this one right back where it was. Oh, great, a big old ant's nest. And then I'll put the other one over there so we have a good cross section. I had another plant over there and it didn't make it through the winter. Let me do this without getting attacked by the ants. Yeah, there's a bunch of them in here. Now the ants around here aren't always nice. They actually do bite. So I have no regrets of disturbing their nest. Okay. Well, I think I got it all weeded. Every time I turned around and thought I got it weeded, I found another weed. I see some right here, but that's okay. I got the worst of it. So now I'm just watering all my plants in that I transplanted. Make sure they're good and moist. The soil was already moist. So this is just to help settle them in. Make sure there's no air pockets. Wish there could be, because the gophers, I found gopher tunnels galore, and they create air pockets, but I wanted to make sure I didn't leave any air pockets. Just water it down, smooth it out, and I will go from there. So we divided the Nepeta, planted two, transplanted the verbascum, transplanted those salvias. I have a third one to put in here, and I'll do that later. Right now I'm hot. It's very warm out here. Now as far as along this border here, to make a border, I have been on the hunt for driftwood. I have some driftwood up there that I've had for 20 years, and it is still like new. Well, like when I first put it there, so it didn't rot or anything like that. I'm just washed off the sidewalk here. So I was thinking I liked that, a very organic look. But I also had got some of that corten steel edging. I had got it to put around the circle garden in the back. And bending it to fit is a pain. And getting my husband to have time to help me, that just hasn't happened. So I was thinking, you know what, I just might use it here and save up, get more, and maybe do all of the front garden with it. It would really tidy it up as far as an edging and keeping it looking really pristine and clean. And that way, you know, I was been thinking about putting down gravel. I love gravel, but I've also thought about, I have micro mini clover, and that's supposed to help feed the soil. It feeds the bees and all other kinds of things. It's really nice, but it doesn't take a lot of water like a lawn or grass would. I love green pathways too. So those are some options. I did seed the rose cottage garden. I also called it Rose Alley. And I was going to see, it looks like it's coming up. So we'll see how that works, and then I'll decide then what I want to do. Right now I've just been putting down some mulch as a pathway surfacing, and it's worked good, but you do have to replace it yearly. It's not a lot because they're $5 a bag. I think it took me 2 bags to cover, you know, quite a bit. So it's not that hefty of a bill, but still, if you don't have to do it, you don't have to do it. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video of what I'm doing with this front flower bed. You had a little peek of what's going on in the front garden, where I'm at as far as getting it whipped into shape. And over here, it's also Gopherville. So I've got to decide what I want to do there. I have a whole bunch of zinnias to start, so I know I'm going to do those. As I get them, or as I divide, the Nepeta works really well, and it will come back. And like the kitten around and the cat's pajamas, they don't get real big, but they do bloom very, very well for me, and the gophers don't eat them. So I will catch you in my next video. So come on back and see what's up in Pam's Flower Patch. Bye.